Hello. So this is kind of a different kind of video, I guess, but just going to introduce myself, show the person who is behind the lens at all times, really. It is strange being in front of it because I'm so used to just holding it and being like, oh, say this, how do you feel about that? So now I'm in the hot seat and it feels kind of strange just talking to a camera. Anyway, I thought I'd introduce myself. So my name's Elsa. I was an alpine ski racer for, oh my gosh, 5-6 years, not that long. So I started ski racing when I was 18. After school, I just kind of was like, oh, I want to try something out, I want to try something new. Always loved skiing on like family holidays, and literally looked up British ski racing, and the British Ski Academy came up. And if you know BSA, you know Malcolm, and he was super welcoming and was like, come along, try it out, even though when I got there I realised everyone else had done 8+ seasons since they were like 14 or whatever, and I was just jumping in and being like, what's going on? I didn't prepare my skis or like wax or edge them for the first year because I didn't know you had to, because before that all I ever did was rented skis from a shop, pick them up, put them back at the end of the week, and I didn't know that anything was done to them. I thought they were just their own like product. So there's a lot of learning curves, and I was always confused. People were like, I'm off to do my skis, and I was like, well, what are you doing with them? Because like they're there. So my first season was funny. I didn't know half the rules and half the things that were going on, and it was like I was second or third year phys at that point, so I was really just like confused, and everyone else really knew the rules. But I had like the best time at BSA. It was so much fun. I had a great group of people. And I really enjoyed it. And then I went to some other academies, and then I ended up with Dave, who is now David's coach, Amy, Joe's, Gabe's, Finley's, all those lot now. And I did that for about 3 years. And then in 2023, is it now? Or 2024? Yeah, in 2024. So it feels long ago since I last ski raced, but I stopped ski racing in 2024 for so many reasons. Nothing like negative, to be honest. I had like quite a good season for me. I did it for like 5-6 years. I got to 70 points. I got like a phys podium. I was like pretty happy with my little career, and at that point I was 24, and I kind of wanted to see what else I could do and try and kind of have enough time to try and fail. Not to try and fail and do it, but you know, have 5-6 years until I'm like, right, I need to really think about a job and a house and try something I really wanted to, which brought me to full liners, which is what I'm doing now. And before ski racing, I always had like a massive love for editing and storytelling. Like any family holiday we would go on, I would video the whole thing, document the week, put together all the clips, interview people. Like it was a massive part of kind of me and who I was at that point. And I think when I was 18, it was kind of between ski racing, which I'd never done, and getting into some sort of film school or doing some sort of editing or production work. And I thought I can always come back to this kind of production-y life, but I feel like ski racing with age, obviously, as you get older, it's harder to do most sports. So I was like, I think this is my opportunity to get into this now, and I can always come back to the filming and stuff. And I think through what I learned over the 6 years that I did it is it's kind of the lack of visibility in the sport. And I don't, because like in the UK, I can't remember, there's so many millions of skiers who go skiing every year, and I don't think it's lack of interest. I think it's lack of like exposure to the sport. That's why people don't really see it or watch it or hear about it, because like my dad always talks about Ski Sunday growing up, and how like everyone every Sunday would come and watch it. Yeah, trying to just kind of build that fun and excitement around the sport and the new athletes coming up in kind of the magical way that Ski Sunday did, on a very small scale, with just me behind the camera and me editing and producing everything myself. But yeah, so over the last year, me, Molly and David have been out there, as you've seen, documenting, filming, kind of behind the scenes of alpine ski racing for GB and how it looks, and you know, like lack of funding and lack of access to like equipment and sponsorship. One of the things that we try and do with like full liners and bringing more visibility is breaking down the things I didn't understand, especially when I joined the sport at 18. And I think when you do a sport or anything in life and you've done it since you were 8, 9, 10, you know, it's second nature to you. You understand why you wax, you understand the timing, you understand all these things, so you don't really question it. But I think being an adult and 18 and joining the sport, and people were like, you wax your skis every day. I was like, why? why do we edge them every day? How do they get blunt that quickly? How does the timing work? Oh, you have to do 2 runs. Like, there were so many elements of the sport I was so confused by. Fizz points, don't even get me started on how confused I was with fizz points. Didn't understand. I remember scoring, I think my first season I got under 200. I think I got like a 195. And someone was like, you broke 200. And I just remember being like, what does that mean? Like, what? I mean, there were so many things I just didn't get. So I think having that knowledge of not understanding is kind of what I try and bring through in the videos, to bring, you know, that understanding of the sport. So then if you watch it on the World Cup, you watch it at the Olympics, you're going, okay, I understand all those little niche things. You might think, oh, it's snowing that day, they use this wax, ice, like skiing on sheet ice, why they do that, and what it means, and ruts, and I mean, there's so many elements to sport that's complex. And I think once you start knowing the nitty gritty ins and outs, you start getting really invested. So, and obviously, like, another main thing is telling like authentic stories of Molly and David. And I think especially over the year, they've got so much better on camera and kind of explaining themselves and being really honest. And it's so hard to be honest, especially when there's just a lens looking at your face, and kind of knowing that people are going to watch it, and I'm behind the camera as well. So there's elements that, you know, it takes a long time to get used to and to open up. Even sitting here now, it's like a really odd concept. So I do sympathise with how they feel. But I think over the next season, I think it's really important that we just kind of show all the ups and downs, because that's any sport. There's so many ups and downs, so many. To be honest, there's more downs than up, in not a negative way, but you know, but that's what makes the ups so amazing. So I think it's trying to kind of show all of that, and show them as people, get you to know them, and then when you see them, you know, eventually on the World Cup or whatever, you'll be like, okay, cool. You know what they're like, you know how much hard work they've put into it, the dedication, and all the above. Because I think you see a lot of the highs obviously on TV, but I think showing how much work goes into it, dedication, and then obviously how people react and their mentality towards sports psychology is super interesting. And I think being able to document that, especially starting last year, and you know, filming like World Champs and Molly and her first Europa Cups and all of that, and then David doing his first Europa Cup, it's really cool to kind of document that journey, and then hopefully that keeps on going. Which brings me on to the next kind of exciting little thing, I guess, that's happening. I've designed some hats, some beanies, as I've got on my head right now. This is kind of like, I don't know, it kind of all just happened quite quickly. I just drew this design on my iPad. It's like geographical lines, and then obviously I don't know where the full line is, but full line is going across, kind of just to try and raise some like funding and stuff towards what I do, I guess, and the travel, the accommodation, the flights, the whatever. I worked all summer as a delivery driver, trying to get money basically when I could, when I could. In between everything, editing and meetings and trying to get sponsorships, and then I'd head out on my bike around Brighton, where I live, and deliver food for hours and hours and hours and hours up the hills. Because I'm just trying to do anything to make it work. So yeah, design these hats, 3 different colours. Well, obviously my favourite, but I don't want to be biased, is the green, and then we have, I guess it's like a beigey kind of colour, with full liners going across. And then the pinky purple lilac, I don't know what, not really a definition, a bit more colour. And then obviously the green one I'm wearing, but here's it, kind of flat. So yeah, I'll put a little link to where you can get these hats. And please do, because every single hat that is bought goes towards Live Past and everything. And it means a lot to have you guys' support behind what we're doing, because they put so much work into the ski racing, I put so much work into these videos. So if you need a beanie to keep your hat warm this season, check them out. Yeah, and there's also a little donation thing to a GoFundMe page if you're if you want to donate any sort of funding towards us. It'd be also amazing, but obviously understand that everyone's in different financial situations, there's no pressure, but I wanted to be able to give something in return to getting some funding and stuff, so I came up with these hats. So check them out if that's of interest. It'd be really cool, and let me know if these do well, what kind of colours you'd like to see next, because I kind of tried to pick colours that would fit different ranges, like a greeny and a beigey and a pink, and kind of like fill all the things. But if there's another colour you're missing, the blue, the black, the grey, let me know in the comments, because actually I'd be quite interested by that. It'd be cool to know what else you'd like to see in the videos and what type of videos. I mean, like, obviously we document on the races and the training and all of that, but like with Molly, we don't do a lot of ski prep, so if you're interested in any of the ski prep, we could get into that type of thing. I feel like David's all on the ski prep stuff, so I've kind of kept it to him. But obviously, super open to any ideas, because that's what I just want to kind of explain the sport and bring more interest to it. That is a goal of mine. But yeah, and also just want to say a big thanks to everybody who's watched and watching the last year. It's been really cool to see all your comments. That's like my favourite thing. When I post a video and there's obviously 5 or 6 or 7 people who comment on every one, and that's like, I love the little community that we're kind of building through these videos, which is really cool. So thanks, big thanks for watching and being along with this journey, and who knows how long it will go on for. I think me, Molly and David have created a thing that we're like, oh, this is cool, this is fun, and it's showing the sport, and hopefully it helps also younger racers and younger skiers and people who are just interested in the sport kind of understand, and maybe parents of racers. And also another really important thing to me is showing women in sport, and also women smashing it in sport. So it's been really cool to do that with Molly, and especially when it's just me and Molly, it's just a little women team, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. We're out here doing some extreme sports, and I hope that inspires some younger girls to either get into the sport or keep going, because a lot of girls stop ski racing probably like 12, 13, 14 age for multiple reasons, but I think there's something to encourage them or to inspire to. Hopefully it keeps more, younger girls in the sport, because that's really important to me. Anyway, there's a little bit about the person behind the camera and a little bit more about myself. Let me know if you have any questions about kind of my journey and how I got into it all. But yeah, it's kind of me. But I just thought sometimes you see me behind the camera and probably think, who's this? I mean, obviously I think you probably understand that I do the videos, but you don't know a lot about kind of what I did before and what I love and what I'm into. So I thought I'd give you a little background. Anyway. Feels funny being in front of the camera, I'm so used to being behind it. Check out the hats, and next video will be the ski cross training before the race.